So could Lucasfilm be freaking out a little bit about the reception to The Last Jedi, the lack of excitement about the Han Solo movie, and everything related to Star Wars? I'm thinking the answer is yes. A couple of days ago, there was an article released by IndieWire quoting J.J. Abrams is basically saying that the fans were the problem. The fans have a problem with women in Star Wars, and these horrible, terrible, misogynistic fans are the reason that people did not like The Last Jedi. That is completely untrue. Well, it may be true for some people. I'm not going to speak for everybody, but I don't really know if Lucasfilm is really paying attention to the grievances people have had with The Last Jedi. Now, I haven't really offered up much of an opinion on YouTube as to what I thought of the movie. Everybody's had opinions. Most of the opinions that I've seen, frankly, have been pretty negative, but very few opinions from either online or in talking to friends or colleagues have to do with the fact that the new Star Wars movies have more women. Has everything to do with the fact that they basically thrash the original characters for the sake of pushing the new characters, which is fine, except the new characters really aren't all that spectacular, and it's just rubbing people the wrong way. I mean, let me go through some of the quotes here that JJ had. Of course, the first one is, and this is so ridiculous, they're talking about Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi, and their problem isn't Star Wars, their problem is being threatened, because they have a female character in the lead for the sequel trilogy instead of Luke. That's not really an issue. I don't think that was really an issue for anyone, or very few people, but there you go. They talk about the alt-right group claiming responsibility for lowering the film's Rotten Tomatoes scores. That might be the case, but again, in talking to real people on the street, the opinion on The Last Jedi is very, very split. And frankly, the box office, it did very, very well. It did over $1 billion, but it still underperformed compared to what they were expecting. The toys are languishing on the shelves. Nobody wants them. People were not excited about the Han Solo movie. So yeah, I mean, people have problems with the direction that the new Star Wars movies are going in, and it's really unfair to blame it on men hating women. That's just a really stupid argument, and it's really lazy too. Abrams' reaction to the criticism of The Last Jedi is Star Wars is a big galaxy, and you can sort of find almost anything you want in Star Wars. If you're someone who feels threatened by women and needs to lash out against them, you can probably find an enemy in Star Wars. You can probably look at the first movie that George Lucas did and say that Leia was too outspoken or she was too tough. Anyone who wants to find a problem with anything can find the problem. The internet seems to be made for that. Yeah, you're deflecting. People never had an issue with Leia. They love Leia. They had an issue with Leia in the last movie because she went flying through the air, Mary Poppins style, into the ship after being blown out into space. It was a ridiculous scene that, again, ruined the character. Because that's the last appearance we're going to have of Leia. God bless and R.I.P. Carrie Fisher. But no, this is not what people think. When asked if fan outcry would at all impact his vision for the upcoming films, Abrams was clear. Not in the least. That's a lot of what I'd like to say about it, but I feel like it's a little early to be having the Episode 9 conversation. I will say that the story of Rey, Poe, Finn, and Kylo Ren, to those who are complaining that there are two main women in Star Wars, their story continues in a way that I can be more excited about and cannot wait for people to see. The article just continues to go on about how female-friendly Star Wars has been, and again, this really irritates me, and I'll tell you why. Because most of the complaints I've heard about The Last Jedi have nothing to do with the number of female characters in the movie at all. I think if they had complaints about the female characters, like I said, it was Carrie Fisher's last performance. We're always going to remember her flying through outer space like Mary Poppins. That was just a very poor choice to put in the film, or they could have filmed that thing, that scene differently. I don't think that's the issue. Rose, I actually liked the character. I just thought she was kind of wasted, and that whole subplot with her and Finn was just kind of a complete waste. It really didn't accomplish anything in the movie. and you know, Admiral Holdo, sorry, Laura Dern with the, you know, she pops up for no reason and is nasty and dies. I mean, that's pretty much like, I mean, she basically was like the Leia substitute, and she really didn't serve a purpose. I don't think anybody's complaining about these characters because they're female. I think they're complaining about the characters because they did not serve the story well. They did not really serve a purpose in the Star Wars universe, and they didn't move anything forward. You know, the biggest issue that I've had with The Last Jedi is that to make these new characters look better, to look more heroic, they basically had to kill off Han Solo and unhero Luke Skywalker. And that, again, that's not a sexist thing. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they kind of ruined Princess Leia too. And, you know, she was way underused in The Force Awakens, and the scenes she had in The Last Jedi were ridiculous, and now we've lost Carrie Fisher. So, you know, they've pretty much just kind of gone in and, you know, with The Last Jedi especially, it seems like they're cognizant that some fans are not going to be happy with the choices, but then they're just like doubling down on that and blaming the fans when things don't turn out well. Like I said, the toys are not selling well. The Last Jedi does have a pretty low audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Some of that might be because of meddling, but in talking to people, I don't think that is strictly the case. And yeah, Han Solo, I don't know. I'm still on the fence about Han Solo. I was excited about it. I don't know if I'm still excited about it. I will go see it. But if Han Solo isn't an improvement over The Last Jedi, I personally may have lost most interest in Star Wars. And, you know, Lucasfilm and Disney needs to address this, because you can't carry this franchise forward if you lose a large chunk of your existing fan base. And again, I don't think that that's a really ridiculous thing to say that it's because of misogyny or sexism. My wife is a huge Star Wars fan, bigger Star Wars fan than I am, and she hates Rey. But that's a whole nother that's a whole nother issue, and I won't put words into her mouth. But there are some definite issues that you know, Lucasfilm is going to have to deal with going forward. But having your directors come out and blame the fans, both with J.J. Abrams and before him, you know, Rian Johnson was pretty much just like telling everyone to just go take a leap, is not cool. It's not cool, and people will remember that the next time a Star Wars movie premieres. That this is the attitude of the people who make the movie. So hopefully episode 9 is better. I don't know. But I was personally very disappointed in The Last Jedi, and it had nothing to do with the amount of women in the movie. Alright guys, well, I'm going to shut up about that now and get back to doing what we do. We do pop culture news, we do comics, we do art, gaming videos. Subscribe to the channel for more, and yeah, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about The Last Jedi and what you thought about J.J. Abrams' comments. Were they accurate, or were they really unfair? Talk to you later.